What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining me on D's Analysis. We're going to be looking at MSTY today. So we have our two downtrends that you can see, and we broke out of this first one, but it looks like we're coming back to this level of support here. We're getting a pretty significant pullback as MSTR has kind of just been pulling back a little bit. Front running Bitcoin's move is what I think has been happening. We're pulling back to the 0.5, the 618, the golden zone. So let's see if we can get a nice move from there. When you compare it to this leg, it's obviously very different, as this leg ramped up relatively quickly, had a sideways consolidation, and then pushed up even higher. This one already has a significant pullback, but it's still pretty bullish in nature. Let's see what happens if we break these local highs here and can push up higher. Let's see if we get another extended move, or if we push up, consolidate sideways before continuing up. When you look here at this most recent leg, we ran up 48%, while MSTR ran up 82%. So if MSTR were to run up another 82%, that would put it, somewhere in the low 600s or something like that. And if we ran up another 8%, that put us at 32. So, once you start taking out some of the dividends, then it might be a little bit lower, maybe sitting at 29, 28. But if you get a significant move that ramps up very quickly over a short period, this thing can make it back to the top of this range, but you need MSTR to have a very, very intense spike, which is always possible, but that's varying based off of Bitcoin's move. So here on the SMAs, here on the weekly, we're still getting rejection off of this 20, and this last move was the most severe bounce off of it, but let's see when we push back up if we end up getting rejected or breaking back above it. Here on the daily, we are under the 20 and the 50 and the 200 actually, but the 50 is the most, that's the closest one right now. So we got to break through that 50 to get to the 20. And then we'll probably meet resistance at the 20 after the 50. On the weekly MACD, we're still looking good. We got the green flip right here, starting to create higher highs and higher lows, but we need an extended move to the upside and get this back above this dotted line for the bullish move higher to show an increased momentum for a sustainable price to the upside. And here on the daily, we're starting to get bearish as we just entered bearish territory here. But volume is kind of sideways, so hopefully it can start to dwindle down and we get a green flip again and continue this pattern of higher highs and higher lows that we have established here. You can see it clearly here on the daily when you draw it out like this, somewhere in that region there. So a nice upward trajectory at the moment. Hopefully it can continue to the upside. On the weekly RSI, got a bottoming pattern, a sharp move up, and a sharp pullback. So we're running back to this yellow moving average. Let's see if we get a bounce off of that and continue back to the 50 right here, which is the midpoint, which would equate to that local high. And here, higher highs and higher lows, even though it's a significant pullback, but we are still underneath that yellow moving average that we keep speaking of. We're underneath this one, so we want to break above it. It looks like it's starting to form like an inverse head and shoulders, as you can see. Looks like this is the right shoulder, so let's see if we can get a nice move and clean up this entire move and almost have a nice measured target to the top. But expect some resistance here at this yellow moving average for sure. Now, if you were to look at MSTY adjusted for the dividends, you can see this is looking very bullish. We just got to bounce off of this horizontal level of support here. So see two scenarios playing out where we're getting a bounce here. The other one would be continuing to chop sideways potentially, and then eventually breaking underneath, retesting, and falling down further. If we do fall down further, we could have a clean move to the downside, as there aren't too many wicks or too much crazy wicking action after this level around here. Once you break there, it should be a clean move down. Hopefully not. Hopefully we don't see that downside, and it's only upside from here. And on the weekly, we're looking good, still holding above our 20. And on the daily, we're getting close to running into the 50. So hopefully we get a bounce off the 50 and eventually run into the 20 up there on the SMAs. But overall, the structure is insanely bullish. And when we pull a fib here, you can see that we're still very bullish. Like I said, we haven't even made it to the 382, which is a very bullish sign. Once we make it to the 382, I would expect a strong move to the upside, but we could be bottoming here. Obviously, it depends on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin continues to fall, then maybe we end up making it to that 382, or maybe even to the 0.5 to the 618 and getting our bounce from there. But I wouldn't rule out the idea of this being our bounce here, and we bounce from here because of this horizontal level of support and resistance, along with that 50-week SMA. Or I'm sorry, the 50-day SMA. Overall though, MSTR, MSTY are looking very bullish. Another idea that I was thinking of is that maybe we end up actually trending sideways until we make it to this bottom of the channel, and then we get our significant move to the upside. So maybe the move comes a little bit later, and then we get this move that we've been anticipating. So I thought that this was potentially this move based off of bouncing off the bottom of the channel, but maybe this move is coming on the second touch of the channel. But we don't know. This could still be the leg up, and this is just a temporary pullback. But that's all I have for you guys. Like and subscribe, share with a friend, drop a comment down, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next one.